joy to welcome you to this morning's show. First of all, let me check if my guests can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
All right, I can hear some of you, so I just want to be sure. All right, so welcome. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and of course, life is starting up again after a beautiful weekend. And so we're going to have fun. We're going to be having a discussion about the upcoming elections.
Yes.
I have a little challenge. Yeah, I'm working with one PC, so it's very difficult. I'm going to do my best so we can have a show. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You just joined the Radio Voice of Naija, and we will be having a discussion on the upcoming elections of March 18. And today's discussion, basically, one will talk about how we are represented, the values and the choices that are facing us during the upcoming local and municipal elections. We'll be exploring how the different political parties intend to respond to the realities of our communities, especially on the issues of inclusion, social justice, faith, governance, and everyday living.
Okay.
Right now, we are airborne on 105.2 megahertz on Ether, and of course on the internet via www.saldo.nl/player. It's my pleasure this morning to welcome three very special people. And I'm going to take it from my left. Okay, no, let me change that. I'm going to take from my right. So that I observe the proper protocol. So ladies must always be first, right? Okay, so from my right, that would be Apostle Joana Amoah. Can you say hello to our listeners?
Hello, listeners. Thank you so much for joining us.
We can hear you. I don't know what people just over there.
Let me hide. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you at all.
No?
Oh.
All right. Well, let me see what you can fix. Okay, the next lady, Michantely. I don't know how if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Please say hello to our listeners. Please tell them who you are.
Yes, good morning. So my name is Michantely Lisse.
Oh, hold on. I think yeah, sometimes things can go wrong with the studio. Okay, yes. All right, go ahead, Michantely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you pronounce that Michantely.
Michantely. Oh, yeah, Michantely.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Yes, my name is Michantely Lisse. And I'm also a candidate for DENK, number 7, and for North, I'm number 2.
Okay, so not you mean number 2, number 7 on the municipal elections, and then are they also on the Starsdale North?
Starsdale North, exactly.
Okay, welcome. Yes. Let me go back to Apostle Joana. Please speak up. Let's see if we can hear you now. Introduce yourself and.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Joana Amoah, and party ELLECT. I'm number 1 on the list. Yes.
So is it for the municipal or for the district? Don't look at the district.
Yes, it's for the local council.
Okay, beautiful. And then to the man among the women.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
brother Tim, go ahead, introduce yourself and.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kuijsten.
Yeah.
I'm number 1 party leader for ChristenUnie Amsterdam. So I'm the successor to Don Seda. I'm sure you all know from the Tweede Kamer. And a little bit about myself. My mother is from Holland. My father is from Liberia. I used to be in politics there. So I think that's where I got the interest from. And yes, my wish is to represent the ChristenUnie both in the gemeenteraad, city council, and I'm also electable in the district council in North.
In North. Wow. Oh, so you have a rival here, a competitor.
It's good to meet Michantely. Very good.
Very good. Okay, very good. So listeners, feel free if you need to connect with us on the studio line, that is 0207-371-301. We'll be glad to take your calls if they do come. All right. Now, let's kick off with an issue that is really, really bothering all of us in Amsterdam, the housing issue and the cost of living. Okay, so basically, we know that there's pressure when it comes to affordable housing. So we don't know, tell our listeners, what concrete measures does your party propose to solve, to improve access to low and middle income housing, basically? And also you could add to that what you think the municipality could do differently about the rising rents and the long waiting list for housing. So these are two questions in one. See how you can tackle them. Any of you can go first?
Yes.
Yes.
If I work at the Ministry of Housing, so I work as a policymaker on the buying market.
Okay.
And I think this is a subject that unites many parties because we all want the same. We want more housing and more affordable housing.
Yeah.
Especially also for the younger generation, so they can evolve in their lives. So I think there's a long list of solutions which many parties agree on. We all want more houses to be built in our city. But just to mention a few, I think the gemeente needs to be involved in more assertive land policy. So if the gemeente has possession of more land, they can they can speed up the process to give the proper documentation for companies to build the housing. So that will speed up the process for more housing to become available. In the meantime, they should also be very aggressive on vacancy. So I've seen already in the city, there's a lot of buildings still being empty for a long time, long overdue, more than 6 months, which is allowed now by law.
Yeah.
So we need a patrol, a department from the gemeente that actively researches where there's still buildings empty, where there's still vacancies, so we can use them for our youth, but also, for example, for the homeless people, so we can shelter them. And then lastly, one of the solutions also, there's a lot of people seeking space in Amsterdam, and they come by themselves, they live on their own. And if we can combine that, so for example, build more community compounds, you can use one building to house around 10 persons or maybe multiple families. They have their separate living room, but maybe they can share a kitchen or other facilities in the house. So that way, instead of maybe facilitating for 2 families, you can do it for 5 or 6. So that will also be very efficient. And those are some of the creative ideas we have to come up with in order to improve this issue.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, let me ask, the ladies can come in and also add their thoughts to this discussion.
Yes. So I have personally experienced how unstable systems can affect your life. And I speak every week with young people and families who have been on the waiting list for years while working full-time. So that is exactly why I stand with DENK, because we believe that Amsterdam should not become a city for only for people with money or connections. It should remain for the city. It should remain a city for the people who actually live and work here. So our concrete proposals are prioritizing for Amsterdam residents for new housing projects, and also making sure that mid-rent housing is truly accessible for middle incomes, because right now it's way too high. And also creating youth housing with guaranteed follow-up housing, so young people are not left on the street or need to go living with their parents or anything like that, because that is why I'm 26 right now, and I also needed to go to I live with my mom right now. So that's why I said I've personally experienced this, how this works. I'm also from Amsterdam. So that needs to be taken care of. Right now, it's very important to do that. But also the mindset. So it needs to be stopped treating like it's an investment product, and more like a basic human necessity.
Yes.
That's what I believe in.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Joana, please go ahead and let's say if you want to add to what is said so far.
Yes, I agree so far with what they are talking about, what they are saying. I just said, more affordable houses. They should stir up more developments from mid houses, affordable houses, social houses, house
Yeah.
that is rentable. So that people can be able to afford it. There's a big barrier in the marketplace. I think most houses are too expensive, and that is a barrier for less income people that doesn't have enough to spend on housing. So I think that they should just build more infrastructures and encourage students so that students can be able to, get a house, students and families also that cannot be able to, pay a lot for housing. So my idea, my support is also just as the other party have said, more affordable houses, more infrastructure, more buildings should be done, infrastructures to, to support. Last time I went to a meeting actually where they were talking about houses, people that were building houses. This how do they even call it? Like the man in DENK, sorry, I don't remember your name. He's
ChristenUnie.
yeah. He was talking about he works in the Ministry of Housing. Yes, I went to such meeting and I was asking why is it so expensive? But they don't even know why it's expensive because they also have to pay the government. So at the end of the day, it's much more like making money. So mid-range rental houses, that's and faster construction by cutting unnecessary bureaucracy. So that's my idea.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I just want you to kind of get straight to the point. What are some of the major bottlenecks that you guys have noticed is affecting or slowing down development of housing projects, to cater for the needs? Or is it that we're running out of land or space, or what are the major bottlenecks?
Partly, I mean, first of all, right now with the current fixed prices, for example, for construction, it's very expensive to build compounds, to build buildings right now. So that's one of the bottlenecks. Then secondly, in the past, we've not built enough. So the prognosis of the government has been around 10, 15 years ago that the number of residents in the Netherlands and also in our bigger cities would stay stagnant, whereas it has grown a lot. Among other things due to migration. And the government in the past has not been flexible enough. So that's why we as ChristenUnie have also always supported a separate Ministry of Housing, with an assertive plan to tackle this. And I think currently, unfortunately, we see that a lot of people want to move to Amsterdam, including a lot of expats. They not by intention, obviously, but they are driving out our local youth and local communities. And it has to be a balance between that. And so far, the government, also the gemeente, has been incapable of balancing that out, simply because expats, also due to tax advantages, can outbid local Amsterdam people. So that's why we need a more assertive gemeente to reserve also parts of the housing stock for our local people, and also to build enough affordable housing. So you do this by the gemeente has agreements, among other things, with housing corporations, and then they can say, okay, 40% of our housing stock should be affordable by people with lower income. And if we stick to this permanent plan, then I think we'll see improvement in the coming 10 years for availability for space for people who have lower income. So those are some of the priorities I think we as a parties should agree upon, and that's the proposal by the ChristenUnie.
Can you let's say summarize the key things that we think would happen, which will improve the situation? Can you just quickly summarize that again?
Yeah. So I think if we build compounds for multiple families, that will be more efficient. We should reserve around 40% of our housing stock for people with lower income, so that they have a better position on the market also to bid and have more affordability. So those, and we should have land policies so that the gemeente itself can appoint locations where we can build.
Okay. All right. So ladies, you want to add to that?
Yes. By the way, I have something to add to that, because there are many housing projects right now. They're basically building more projects, but it's not it's very expensive. So that's what I said. What is middle income? What is mid rent? So that's what I find important. So making sure that mid rent housing is truly accessible for middle incomes, because a rent of 2,000, how much do you need to earn for that?
Yes.
So that's what DENK stands for. Making sure that the mid-rent housing is truly accessible for the middle incomes, and also building houses for also the low incomes people, but also starters and the youth. That's what I find very important also for myself and also for DENK.
And maybe to answer one thing, the rent of 2,000, that's high income, so that will never fall into the space of affordable housing. Affordable housing, it limits maximum at around 1,100 euros a month rent. So when I talk about the 40%, I talk about that range of prices.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can speak.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I would like to add also, I think there should be better enforcement and regulations, faster constructions, like the themselves have been said. They are building a lot of houses here, but I think it's a little, sometimes it's slow. When the constructions are a little bit faster, faster and better enforcement added to it, I think it will sort a lot of housing problem.
Okay. You want to say something, Michantely?
Michantely, yes.
The way to add something to, you want to speak, or you okay for now?
Yeah, also to Tim. They are making housing projects, but what do you think about they are building small houses right now like you said, they're making many, but only for just a studio or just a one bedroom. But there are many people with many children, or how do you think about that?
No, I agree. They should build more for families. I do understand part of our stock should be studios because of efficiency. You can build smaller spaces that will be less expensive, so more people can apply for that. But I do agree we should build more for families, also because there's a lot of loneliness in Amsterdam, and only building studios will only improve that. So ChristenUnie agrees that we should build more for families, but it should be a balanced thing. So part of it should go to affordable housing, part of it to families, part of it to studios, maybe for students also, but because they're also lacking housing. So it's very complicated question to ask from all of us, but I'm sure with the ideas we've also shared, I very much agree we should build more, we should build faster. But the question now is also how. So that's why I propose some plans to realize our ideals.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on from here. Thank you so much. Very brilliant contributions from all of you. Okay, so let's talk about neighborhood services and the quality of life. So residents judge the city by the basic things: the clean streets, safety, youth facilities, and public spaces. Do you think Amsterdam is falling short in these areas? What do you see needs to change or improve regarding these facilities, these basic services, to make everyday living, nice and decent and comfortable?
If I start,
yes,
I think I will respond more about the pollutions, the dust.
Pollution, okay.
A lot of the dust that is hanging here and there. I think that the people should react like actively, and also a little bit accurate and faster with consistency. And there should be a little container on every street, like I said, so like at every street, so that they can be able to gather all those nuisance on the streets. And there's a lot of safety issue also. Like I said, people are not safe at night. And a lot of things are happening. So I think that's that should be sought out, and new facilities and place of work opportunities for young people there in Amsterdam. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think the city council is doing enough in terms of like keeping the streets clean and all that, or it is that the neighbors the people maybe are just taking undue advantage and creating a mess anyway, not caring enough about the environment? What do you think about that, Ms. Joan?
Oh, I think that when there are more people, when effectiveness, like consistency, the city hall will take over the people. Of course, the people can be careless. They can just do things and throw things without, thinking about it, especially kids and young people. But when this city council take it upon themselves to take it up like every day, put containers here and there, that will give the city different look. And also, talk to the people, tell them to stop doing that, and also help them like in taking it up faster and having a lot of other people like the people that picks it up, come constantly, and I think it will sort it out. I don't think it's only just the people. I think the effectiveness of the council hall is a little bit slow, and it should be more effective and faster.
Okay,
Yeah.
Michantely, what's your reaction on that?
I agree. What I want to say, last week I attended another debate where young people from Southeast or Southoost shared something very clear. They told us that they still miss some basic youth facilities. So yes, we are mentioned to develop Obanex and also expansion of the Belmer Park Theater. But what many young people are saying that it's still lack of accessible places where they can simply spend time in a positive way with each other. So yeah, the safe space to meet, especially purpose sport facilities, because the memberships right now are way too expensive as well. So that's what needed right now, and especially in Southeast.
Do you think that's contributed to maybe the youth criminality and youth, let's say, criminality, basically, the youth not finding purposeful things to do, therefore they do stupid things? You think the lack of enough facilities is contributing to that?
Yes, it will prevent all these problems. It have a space, safe space for each other. They can connect with each other, but also building, talents and things like that.
Yeah.
So it will keep them away from all those problems.
What about what's your reaction to the issue of cleanliness in the city? You think Amsterdam is clean enough, or it can get better?
No, I agree with. I don't know how you. Yeah, I agree with her. It is not the people itself. It needs to be constantly picked up by the gemeente. We pay enough taxes right now, so it needs to be taken. Yes, that's what I said also in a meeting. It needs to be taken care of constantly, and that's I agree with her.
Okay, Tim, do you think that the city council is not doing enough in terms of keeping our neighborhoods clean, in spite of the fact that we're paying enough taxes?
Yeah, I agree with the former speakers. I think this has to do with the capacity of execution by the gemeente as well. So we have to look at the efficiency.
Yeah.
But I also want to emphasize one other subject when it comes to facilities, and this is the main thing for our party. So this is the one reason why I entered into Amsterdam politics. If you're gonna remember ChristenUnie for this election, by one or two things, it's gonna be Christian values, and the other thing is the housing of churches. Because I speak to so many churches, so many Christians. The church, they either don't have a place, or they don't have a permanent place, or tomorrow they could be kicked out. Meanwhile, the gemeente has been lacking for years. Last year, we wrote a letter. We wrote on behalf of more than 150 churches to the mayor. We said something needs to be done about this. We need permanent policy in order to reserve space, in order to reserve housing for churches. Because at churches, there's not only freedom of religion that we have and that we have to safeguard, but churches, but also obviously mosques, synagogues. They build communities where people are being educated, where the youth is being educated to be responsible citizens. When we talk about waste, when we talk about education, you will see that the performances will improve if they have a safe community at home, in the church. And the church aids with so many solutions that the government is battling. It aids with so many solutions for issues that the government is trying to resolve. They cannot do it without the church. At the end of the day, the government cannot love you. A church cannot love you. And that's what our citizens are looking for, because a lot of people are dealing with anxiety. and loneliness. So that's my aim also, to unite the Christian community in the city and to unite the churches so that we can have a representation on a political level in Amsterdam, so that we can change this issue, because we have to reserve spaces for our religious communities, for our churches, for our Christians, so that they can assist and serve the city.
Thank you. But
I
what?
have something to add to that.
Okay.
Sorry. Or not to add, last year, or what you said, we lack of the housing for churches.
So churches.
DENK was one of the only parties that stand up for the house for housing for the churches.
Really, I never knew that. I never heard that they talk about this. For the first time hearing from you.
Sometimes we notice that other parties were less present in this conversation, but DENK stands for that as well. So, and I don't want to be mean or something like that, but we heard less of ChristenUnie about that term. So
No,
untold,
no, with all due respect, because I know how this went. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is correct, that first we wrote the letter I just talked about. That was an initiative from me. ChristenUnie is right now, doesn't have a seat in the gemeenteraad, but even from outside the gemeenteraad, so outside the city council, we took the initiative together with the churches to address this, put this on the agenda, and reach out to the mayor. So this is why we went to the mayor last April. I'm sure Reverend knows.
Yes.
Then after our letter, so after the ChristenUnie initiative, some other parties supported us who had a seat in the gemeenteraad. And yes, DENK was one of them. But the initiative was taken by the ChristenUnie also because ChristenUnie is built from inside the churches.
Yeah.
So I really think that without trying to stay humble, but ChristenUnie took the initiative on this issue, and I think we have to maintain doing so.
Yeah.
Because all of our members are part of the church, so they're going through this issue day by day. But I'm happy, and I recognize parties like DENK are willing to assist us, and let's continue to do so.
I think it's good.
I have something please to add to it. Yes.
Go ahead.
About the facilities and churches. Yes, it's a very intensive conversation, and that is actually true because I'm an apostle, and having a facility and a building for a church is one of the most difficult things here in Holland. It's not easily accepted. You cannot just go in, and it's not easily supported. So I'm really also with the ChristenUnie on this when it comes to pushing towards facilities and opportunities for more churches, for churches to have access to have building easily. That is a very, very good point. And like he said, also the ChristenUnie man, that the churches, they train, they help, they care for the youth, also for people. So when the churches have access to facilities, they will also help more to train the youth. They can also come there and have fun and sit and talk and get to know each other. So I really agree with that. Elect agree with that idea that facilities for church, more facilities.
Yeah, yes, very much so. And let me lastly say that this goes for all listeners to Salto Radio. But also I want to address the Christians, because I know a lot of people, they distrust Dutch politics. I understand why. But this is why I always say, go vote, and go vote according to your values, or it is up to me, even according to your faith. Because if you're not at the table, you'll be served for dinner. So if it's not Christians involved in the vote, yes, they will not back our interest. They will not serve our interest. So obviously, my dream now in the coming years is to unite at least all Christians in the city. And if we can go for one agenda together, I think we can make way bigger impact. Obviously, I'm not doing it through ChristenUnie, because ChristenUnie as a party is built for that one purpose. But let's see how many we can unite. Because I think if we do it from a Christian perspective, this issue can never go away from the agenda, and gemeente always has to act on it.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I need to compliment at least the two parties, DENK and ChristenUnie, and also, of course, with the ELLECT adding its voice. If three parties at least can give a push to this thing, I think something will change. Definitely something will change. So what do you think will be the next level, the next step for this particular motion, this particular idea on making sure that religious communities have accommodation for their meetings? I don't know what stage it is now, or it's just still being debated in the councils, or what?
No, right now, you mean the church housing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wrote a letter with ChristenUnie and all the pastors. Then we went to the mayor last year, April.
Yeah.
So she acknowledged the issue and she said she would look into how to help us. Right now, there's more acknowledgement, like we heard before, also in the gemeenteraad by other parties, but now we have to see the results.
Okay.
And still, 2 weeks back, I heard from a church received discrimination because of a landlord not willing to rent to a religious organization, even more specific, a Christian organization. But this could also happen to the Muslim population, somebody discriminating against the community. So right now, really, that's why this election is so important. If we can make a statement and really vote on this issue, I think the gemeente has to change something in its attitude, because right now it's lip surface.
Yeah.
You know, they acknowledge it, so that's one step going forward. But really, if you want to see more buildings and more security for the churches, really now they have to provide results, and we have to enforce that. So that's why this election and the coming election will be so important for the Christian and other religious communities.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to three very dynamic people who are, getting ready to go into the local councils to fight for us, to speak for us, to stand, to stand for the values that we believe in. So it's important we give them the chance. We're talking about ChristenUnie here, a DENK party, and ELLECT party. These are dynamic young people who are offering themselves to serve us in the community and to change things and to make life more comfortable. So please give them your votes, give them your attention. Let's make it happen. Now, Tim, very quickly, back to the question which brought all of this. We're talking about how the district councils can be empowered more to respond faster to local neighborhood concerns. Can you quickly address that? Then we'll move on to the next question.
Yes, of course. I think one of the things maybe I'd like to see is for the gemeenteraad, for the city council, to do a few times a year meetings also within the town halls of the district councils, and to do more meetings in the neighborhoods. And then other thing that I see is that a lot of our people are not so educated about our local democracy, or maybe even democracy in general. So also I see with a lot of the youth, they don't see the opportunity to change their own lives through our politics, through our democracy. So I think with our schools, we have to get into an agreement where we educate the youth and educate our citizens, maybe also with migrant background more, about how they can empower themselves in our local politics through the stadsdelen, through the gemeenteraad. And then you will see a lot more impact and a lot more communication between all the layers of our political system. So that also the stadsdelen will have more impact.
I totally agree with you. We need a lot of education to bring up people to that level where they can get engaged much more, much better with the community, those who are decision makers, the politicians, and the rest of them.
I agree.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at mobility, transport, and accessibility. So looking at the current transportation system, what do you think needs to be improved most urgently in your view? And what should be done to make sure that mobility policies do not exclude residents, families, and people with disabilities? I think, in my opinion, quite a lot is going good for us, but perhaps you see some possibilities to improve, accessibility and mobility in the city. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
So from my perspective, one of the biggest problems is that many decisions are made from the point of view of the residents. But what I've heard, I would call it the city hall logic. So as for example, we have seen situations where important connections like Metro Line 53 were reduced or removed, while many residents actually depend on that line to work or go to school. At the same time, public transportations become very expensive. A single ride can cost around 380 euros. So for families with multiple children, that's simply not affordable. So that is why we at DENK, we support such as free public transport for children in Amsterdam, so the family can still move through the city without constant financial pressure. Another example is bus line 21. Residents had to fight to bring it back, and even when it returned, it should not could not run properly because the street has been narrowed. So that's why these situations show that decisions are sometimes made without fully listening to what neighborhood actually need. So,
Line 21 is where? Where does that run?
sorry?
Line 21, where does that run? The line which was restored.
Invest.
In West, okay.
Invest, yes.
Oh.
So, yeah, before chasing the routes
Mhm.
or the infrastructure, the city must first listen to the residents and make sure that public transport truly supports their daily lives. That's
Yeah,
what.
absolutely. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Joana, what do you have to say on this this point? What should be improved? What are some of the issues you have noticed? Which can be made better for residents?
Yeah, like the Damsel already said, the affordable, the transportation is very expensive. It has to be free. Actually, that's my own meaning. That's, because it seems like it's getting more expensive and it's a lot difficult for parents, family to, take to take their family or go out there with their children constantly to do nice things because it is very, very expensive and also for students. So I think that it should be actually free, not just for students, but also for family. And second thing is that yes, the Metro 53, we found it also when we went to visit the fermenter in Amsterdam. We saw we went to Amsterdam Rad, and there was a meeting, so we went there to listen. There were some students that came and was fighting for that Metro 53. And I'm so compassionate because it was something that they were using. It was useful to them. They could just take it from where they are, get directly to the central station, Amsterdam. It was useful. So we are still on. I'm still thinking, what is actually the reason why that Metro 53 has to go? And if probably that motion should be changed, because that was a major defeat and distortion with Amsterdam Zuidoost. It was a very useful metro line. So that I think that the commenter should please bring that back because of the people that really needed it. Old, young, students, everybody.
Yeah.
But that was a useful, but now that place is going to be empty and dry and very dangerous. So that was what the kids came there to talk and debate about, that they need that place because if not, it will be empty there and it will be another long journey for them to get to the central station and the connection will be so difficult. So, yeah, more affordable transportation and easier accessible transportation.
Yeah, I have not really understood why they want to take it away. And I heard they want to remove it, but
I don't know also.
what exactly
They
is
say,
it? What's the reason?
they say it will serve as a more efficient transportation system in which they can have more frequency for the metro lines. But I agree with former speakers that in the plans, though on paper they may work, but they disadvantage certain city districts.
Yeah, it'll be too much.
In the first place, Southeast. I
Yeah.
agree the same thing with the bus line 21 for West, New West. So I think really so for example, obviously, our resources are limited. So you have to make choices. As politicians, have to be honest. But I think the city, we have a beautiful city. We have many places that attract tourists and other people. So for now, let's stop spending our money for the coming years on big luxurious projects, building new theaters who are not necessary per se.
Yeah.
We prioritize the basic needs of our citizens, also inside East, New West, the North, even the other city districts that need improving in comparison to the center, to the city center. And that goes the same for our public transport.
Yeah.
I think a gemeente like Amsterdam should be able to expand our network of public transport.
Yes.
Before we reduce any metro or bus lines. So that would be my priority. That would be my proposal. And also, I would like to see that we can invest in discount tariffs for lower income families.
Yes.
Indeed, when they go on the bus or the metro. So I agree with former speakers.
Yeah.
And let me add one last thing, that for those of our citizens who have a handicap,
Yes, there's a disability or some.
availability of our stations, our bus stops,
Mhm.
or even for the elderly people, we have to improve it. Especially, for example, when an escalator is
Okay.
dysfunctioning,
Mhm.
how can they climb upstairs in order to enter the metro? So really, those should be some of our priorities where we should send our money to was
Mhm.
those projects. And I think that's why we have to prioritize. But I think hearing the other party speaking, I think we agree upon the priorities we should set as a city where we should send our money. So not to the luxurious projects for the upper class, so to say, but
Yeah.
prioritize the basic needs of our citizens, especially in the outer districts.
Okay, beautifully said. So what would happen? Now we've discussed all the issues, the problems, and the needs. How would we follow up on this? Because once you guys leave here and you go back to your parties, or even you eventually get elected, I mean, how do you make sure that it's not just rhetoric, we just spoke,
Yes.
but we will actually implement these things?
So like for ChristenUnie, like I explained before,
Yeah.
Our vision right now, that's if you look at our candidate list, our top 10, there's a lot of youth, there's a lot of people below 35. You see, and I see it with different parties as well. So what we want to do, we want to invest in the younger generation in a network. We want ambassadors all over the city, in churches, different places. We can update frequently every week on what's going on in the city council.
Yeah.
And we can prepare them for their own future, maybe in politics, if they have the desire, if they have the skill. And I'm sure many of them do. Because what I want to see in 10, 15 years is that our multicultural communities in Amsterdam take up a large proportion of our gemeenteraad and our district councils. Right now they are not involved enough in politics. And that's, for example, why they miss the decision making. They miss what's happening in the gemeenteraad. And also, sometimes, maybe when one of our people makes a courageous decision in the gemeenteraad, because people have no opportunity to follow the news, they miss out. And sometimes when a politician needs the support from his voter base, it's not there. So that's why we need to connect, and we need to be in frequent talks, politicians and citizens, so that people are always up to date on what's happening in the political domain, and be more flexible to respond when necessary. And for example, something like Metro Line 53 or Bus Line 21, it could have been avoided sooner for a foolish decision making to be taking place.
Absolutely. So we need to activate our base, get them more involved, and to flow along with whatever is playing out in society. So this comes back to you guys who are, our front men and women, how to engage the base. And they are following up and getting involved. You're getting their input and bringing it up and letting their voices be heard, so that the decision makers don't just take decision unilaterally. They take into consideration the needs of the people. Very important.
So I agree with the Christian Union. Green areas in the neighborhoods, especially like South Coast, is very essential.
Yeah.
I mean, for the health, for the quality life, for the health of the people, the quality of life. And I think that's naturally, when you see green, I think more green like trees, it can also help people mental health, and also like people that are depressed. Yes, people that are depressed, when they have a lot of green things around them, that's why most people that are depressed, they go into the bushes, take a walk. It's not just about the walking, it's about the fact that the place is green. So green, that natural greenness is really, really important. And plus the flood that you talk about, trees can help a lot to block flood and natural disasters. So I think that is very, very the well-being and peace and health of people. It comes a lot also by the greenness, the green space around us. It's not just about luxurious houses, but green, the plants, the space is very important. Yes, that they should sustain it.
Yeah. Okay, Michantely, what's your take on that?
Yeah, for me, on a personal level, I strongly feel connected to this topic because I come from a Surinamese indigenous, I have a Surinamese indigenous background, where nature and community spaces are part of my daily life. So for me, it is very important for my well-being. So, and what I hear from many people from the youth or in Southeast. I also went to school in OSB, so what I heard from my old classmates, is that there's something feel like the area is slowly turning into a business or office district instead of a place where families can grow and stay and build green spaces and help improve the image of Southeast as well. But also missing the culture of Southeast. So that's I think it's very important to let the let the neighborhood to feel alive, safe, and welcoming, to give the young people places to go outside. So yes, we're supporting that as well.
Yes, and very lastly for me, just to wrap up, I wish both ladies also all the best in the campaign. I hope we can do a second episode. For me, for ChristenUnie, really, as I expressed, is my dream to have Christian representation in our community, because we need Christians, I believe, in our politics. And I think ChristenUnie can be that platform, so we can have Christian values also in our politics. And I thank you for the opportunity today.
Okay. Well, listeners, the choice is still yours. If you listen to these brilliant young people and their dreams for you and for our city, we hope to come back to continue some more discussion on these issues, since there's still a lot of things to talk about. But let me thank you, Pastor Joan, Michantely, and Tim, for brilliant contributions, and I wish you well in your campaigning, and I hope to see you back hopefully soon. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so
God bless
much
you.
for the opportunity. Bye-bye.